it's not often that I make an actual follow-up video to a previously, to an unscripted episode. This is a follow-up to my I'm Disappointed video where I was talking about my frustrations with the YouTube platform, the YouTube algorithm, in an audience, not everyone, I'm not saying everyone, but an audience that includes people who seem increasingly apathetic to the kinds of videos that I am making. It's just getting harder and harder to create on this platform. But I made that video, and I've heard from hundreds of you guys, many of you supportive and kind and encouraging and just real. And I wanted to speak to some of those points because I've seen and heard from a lot of you guys what it confirmed for me. All the comments from you guys that I've read is that my audience is massively divided. There are people who say they only watch the interviews. There are people who say they only watch the unboxing videos. There are people who say they only watch my thoughts on collecting, which it just, it shows me how this platform, which is the thing I'm talking about and the thing that I'm frustrated at, it scatters. Now, part of it is because I am very much ADHD and I have many different interests that I want to talk about. I want to talk about, old sci-fi. I want to talk about my nostalgia. I want to talk to creators. I want to do the interviews. I want to talk about the new releases. I want to talk about music. I want to talk about comics. And here's the thing. People are like, well, you've split the focus of your channel away from movies. No, I did not. This channel has never been just about movies. From the very beginning, from the onset of Serial at Midnight, the first 20 videos, you go back and look at it, I'm talking about comic books. I'm talking about music. I'm talking about movies. I'm talking about my collecting habits. It was never just unboxing movies on this channel, but that's the thing that the algorithm pushed to you. If you're one of those people, if you're like, all he did was unbox movies. No, that's what you saw because that's what the algorithm fed to you. One of the first videos I made on this channel was me taste testing fruitcake from the fruitcake capital of the world. Another early video was me visiting a town called Santa Claus. So, in fact, the most popular video on this channel, the video that I've made with the most views, is about Robert Johnson going to the crossroads at like 500,000 views. It has nothing to do with physical media. It has nothing to do with movies even. So the idea that I have deviated from some purity of topic that's not true. It's just simply not a fact. This channel is consistent in its inconsistencies, but I do talk about the same things. My zone of interest has remained the same over time. But isn't that interesting? How some people are like, well, it's because you used to be this thing and now you've changed, man. The only way that I've changed is I've gotten older and I've gotten more knowledgeable about certain things. I'm still talking about exactly the same things I was talking about in 2017. I'm still reading the same comic books. I'm still having a lot of the same conversations. The only difference is that now I have more access because of the numbers associated with my channel. I have more access to the people that make these things, more access to people in the industry. I can get a Charlotte Barker from Paramount to come on my channel and talk about how restorations are actually done. The idea that some people will be like, I'm not interested in that. I don't want to know how the restorations are made. I just want to see the slipcovers. And I've gotten the comments, I just want to see the slipcovers. Like, that's bizarre to me. Somebody even said, I'm here for the unboxing videos. I want to see room tours. I want to see what you own. That's all I care about. To that person, there's probably not much for you here. Please go with God. May the road rise to meet you. But this is not for you anymore. Because that's not all that I'm going to do here. It's not all I'm ever going to do, and it's not all I've ever really done either. But a lot of you guys were very kind. A lot of you guys were sympathetic to the challenges of someone on this platform. And a lot of you guys have pointed out that it is indeed the algorithm that seems to be behind a lot of the shenanigans that I'm frustrated about. When I make a video about a topic that I've covered before, and I put it up and, a couple of hundred people out of 42,000+ subscribers watch that video, that lets me know a lot of people didn't even see that it went up. And I've heard from a lot of you guys too, I didn't know this video went up. One thing that you can do to fight this platform's algorithm is, one, of course, subscribe to this channel. A lot of you guys go, I'm a subscriber, but I can see who's a subscriber, and it doesn't show you as a subscriber. So maybe you think you're a subscriber, but you're actually not. So once you've definitely subscribed and made the, click the bell for the notifications so you know when I put up a new episode, check your subscriptions feed. You know, when I go into YouTube, it's got the main page, right? My main, that's the thing YouTube wants me to watch. And it's usually just 100 videos that are similar to the last thing that I watched. If I watch a Rick Beato interview with somebody, then it's just like 8 Rick Beato videos in a row, and then other music related videos or something like that, right? It's whatever, it's so broken. It's whatever the last thing you watch, here's 100 more of that thing. But I go into my subscriptions feed because that's where what I actually care about lives. And because I know that YouTube is not going to suggest those things for me most of the time. So you can't rely on this platform giving you what you actually want. You have to seek it out yourself. The other thing is that there is absolutely an apathy from part of the audience, and it is something that I've known about for a long time, and it's something that I've been kind of fighting against for a long time. And I'm really, I think when I'm coming to the acceptance phase that it's just how things are here, that there may be people who watch one kind of my video and have zero interest in anything else that I do. And I'm never going to be able to reach those people. I'm never going to be able to connect and have a conversation with those people. They're tourists. They're passing through. They don't care about the core of what I'm trying to produce. But there are people that do. So I am going to continue to make the kinds of videos that I want to make. Everything that I do, I'm going to continue to do it, but honestly, probably maybe a little bit less. And I'm going to tell you guys, so as I'm recording this video, I've had a conversation with my buddy Brian Cray from Alpha Video, who has been on my channel multiple times. He's a friend. We've become friends and we geek out about the same stuff. Like, what comic books are you reading? What are you watching? We're talking about Transformers from the 80s, that sort of a thing. We're just old school nerds. He and I are exactly the same age, like days apart on the same birth year. We're shared references, right? We might even be the same sign, the same zodiacs. I think we maybe are. So we have a lot of shared interest in similar stuff. Anyway, we had a conversation as I'm recording this video. We had this conversation yesterday, and it goes for like 3 hours. Now, normally, I would say I can't put a 3-hour video up on YouTube. It would kill the views. Now I'm like, the views don't matter. It doesn't matter at all because people might not even know that I made that video. So I'm going to probably put the whole thing up on YouTube, but also, of course, it goes on the Cereal at Midnight audio podcast feed. I'm going to lean further into the Cereal at Midnight audio, well, the podcast, but because that goes up wherever people get podcasts, it's on Apple Podcasts, it's on Spotify, it's on, every place that you get a podcast, those episodes will be there. And I don't have to worry about shenanigans with whether or not my video, or, whether or not that episode gets seen or, hidden away from you. No, you can't see this, says the algorithm. I don't have to worry about that. If you're a subscriber to the audio feed, you're going to get that episode. So I'll probably put the whole thing up like that, and I talked for like an hour about Superman, the Superman movie, James Gunn's Superman movie. I held it back. I didn't want to promote the movie on my channel because James Gunn said that any coverage, whether it's negative or positive, supports that movie, and I had such a negative reaction to that movie that I thought, well, I'm not going to make a video about it. Now here we are a couple of months later, and he and I talk about it for a long time. He likes the movie. I do not like the movie. It's an interesting conversation. So that's going to be coming up on, I'll put it up here on YouTube, and I'll probably pull out the Superman stuff as its own episode for people that don't want to sit there through a 3-hour conversation. But if you're a subscriber or wherever you go, you'll have access to both of those things. Here's what I'm going to say. It is becoming apparent to me that this platform is no longer a friendly place for whatever I want to talk about. Now, that doesn't mean that I can't still talk about those things. I can do whatever I want to do. I have the liberty and the power to do whatever. I can make a video about whatever I want to talk about. And I always could, and I always will. The problem is the visibility. The problem is I used to be able to make a video. I'm looking for something random here, right? Okay, I used to be able to make a video about action figures, right? I'd be like, I picked these up at Ollie's. Ollie's has some really cheap action figures, and that video would get views because the algorithm, for whatever reason, would say people like action figures. Let's suggest this to more viewers. That doesn't exist for this channel anymore. My videos are not being promoted anymore in any sort of outside of the subscriber base, and even the subscriber base. YouTube's only putting those videos in that person's subscriber feed, not on their homepage. So I think it's time for me to focus on of course, continuing to say what I want to say, but if you want to make sure that you're seeing the things that I want to talk about, this is where channel memberships and Patreon really come in, because I'm going to lean hard into those things. My channel members, my Patreon supporters, I'm going to be creating primarily for you. You guys are going to continue to get the thing because you're the people that I can trust. You're the ones that I know are here for whatever I want to talk about. You've proven through your support. And remember, YouTube subscriptions are $5 a month. And my Patreon top level is $7 a month. And that unlocks hundreds of exclusive videos in an archive. There are collection tours. They're years old, but there are collection tours on Patreon, room tours on Patreon. Here's every comic book graphic novel that I own. Over like 4 videos. I did all of that. I've done all of that. That's all for members of this channel and for Patreon supporters. You guys are the ones who I know are going to stick with me through whatever, through thick and thin, through the trends on this platform. The stuff that I'm complaining about doesn't impact Patreon and YouTube channel members because the algorithm doesn't matter. If I put up a members only video, you're going to get notified that I put up a members only video. So if you've been debating whether or not you should support Serial at Midnight, somebody asked me like, hey man, how long are those exclusive videos actually exclusive? You know, I don't want to support you. Basically they're asking like, how can I not support you? How long do I have to wait before I get the stuff for free? Totally missing the point of supporting a creator. Totally missing the point of why I would have memberships in the first place. Totally missing the point that I don't do sponsorships here. We're not talking about stamps or mattresses or, you know, language learning programs or mobile games. It's you and it's me. And in the economy as it exists now, we directly support the thing that we want because we want more of it. If you want pure, unadulterated, uncensored Serial at Midnight and you don't want to have to worry about it being hidden away from you because you're too delicate to see it, says the algorithm, that's where your memberships are going to come in. So I will continue to create. I'm going to continue to do what I do. But you might not see it because it's probably going to get suppressed. It's probably going to go straight to the subscriptions feed. And if you're not subscribed, you will never know I made that video. And I am going to focus on creating outside of YouTube as well. It has never been more clear to me. And I've wrestled with this before because these algorithm things they rise and they fall. I'll be out of the algorithm for a while and I'll be very frustrated and I'll be like, I've got to focus on other things. And then you end up back in the algorithm and everything seems fine. And you forget how terrible it feels when you're making videos that people aren't seeing. I have got to focus on other things, on the podcast, on creating my, books. I would also encourage you, cerealatmidnight.com that is home base for Serial at Midnight. Every review, every video, every interview, every podcast episode, everything I do ends up at cerealatmidnight.com. And there are tons of reviews. I write reviews on a consistent basis. Those don't come here to YouTube. This is a visual platform. So if I'm writing a review, it's going to live at cerealatmidnight.com. That's really where everything goes. So this is just a follow-up to say where I'm at and what's going on, and also I got to address this. A lot of people were like, well, you should make a second channel to talk about the other stuff outside of movies. And I'm like, well, Serial at Midnight was designed to talk about whatever I want to talk about. That's why I called it Serial at Midnight and not Movies at Midnight or whatever. Serial at Midnight was a title chosen because I can cover anything that I want to talk about that fits under that umbrella. Again, comics and movies and music and books and science fiction and like cool locations. If I want to do movie location videos. If I want to go to Disney World and talk about Hollywood studios, it all fits under Serial at Midnight because that's not focused on one specific thing. And people say, well, you need to create a second channel. I perceive that any problem I'm having right now, I will have again with a second channel down the road. The algorithm that feels like a noose right now will absolutely tighten on a second channel. And someone said, well, then you create another channel after that and another channel after that. That is just dividing the pie into so many pieces. No, this is the pie. There's one pie, and it's Cereal at Midnight. And I'm not going to chase all these other avenues. This is where you get the thing. And if you want the purest form of the thing and you want to see everything that I put out, memberships and Patreon. That's your best bet to find this stuff. And again, I don't want to hear complaints about, look, he's putting it all behind a paywall. There are over 1,000 videos here that you have not had to pay for at all. Don't be mad at the people that want more. That if it's not for you, it's not for you. But don't get upset for people that do want more. And I'm doing it at the cheapest possible, again, $5 for a YouTube membership. That is incredibly reasonable for exclusive videos and for an archive and to be connected directly to a creator. Come on, let's be realistic here. So there is some shaking of fists from the audience at me. You've changed, man. You're not the same. I'm here to say, I don't think that I have. If anything, I've gotten better. I've gotten more knowledgeable, and I've gotten more experience at how to do this thing. But my interests are exactly the same. I mean, they may be deeper than they were a few years ago, but I've always talked about whatever I want to talk about. And I'm going to keep doing that, but the way that I deliver it might start to look a little bit different. Stay tuned for that 3-hour episode with Brian Cray. And I guess we'll just see what the future holds. But I feel, whereas I was discouraged and frustrated when I made that last unscripted video, I am now feeling really empowered, because I'm realizing that once I free myself from the confines of whatever boundaries exist here, I can do whatever I want to do. I am the master of my destiny. No one controls what I say and what I do. This is mine, and it will continue to be mine, and nobody is going to silence me. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Take care. Until next time, I'll catch you later.